Back to that story on possible campaign violations. Let's talk to Eric Alvia, Secretary General of NAMFREL. Eric,
Yes, sorry, the line got cut. The line got cut. Yes, as we know, February 12 is the start already of the campaign period for national candidates, senators, and party lists. Now, there are, of course, regular violations that we monitor. No? These are areas where campaign posters are off limits, no? Whether it be trees, light posts, traffic signs, the usual things that Director Jimenez mentioned, no? And the size, no, of the campaign posters. No? All of these posters should be only be present in areas where they're designated by the local COMELEC. No? But apart from that, we just have recently a sign implementing rules and regulations for the Fair Elections Act, no? Which requires candidates and political parties to register their official websites, blogs, and also social media pages. This is done by COMELEC to make sure that the candidates and the political parties and their agents comply with certain limits towards campaign expenditures. But it doesn't monitor the content of those media pages, social media pages.
Yeah. Well, Eric, I was saying that a while ago that it seems very interesting that in this day and age, when everything's high tech, and this is already 2019, that we're still talking about the size of the posters, the location, where they should be, where they should not be, and that's what you're monitoring. What does that say about us as a people, given that, yes, one of our favorite pastimes are elections and campaigns, no? But at the same time, you have social media, you have the internet. So how are we going to be monitoring? I mean, para sa mga kandidato, maliit na bagay na yung size ng poster, nasan yung poster.
Correct.
May social media naman,
Yeah, it seems very trivial, no? But there seems to be a disconnect, no? But basically, not all of our electorate or our voters are wired or connected in the internet. But basically, all of this, well, I don't know if it's just probably superficial also monitoring the campaign posters, but it's essentially to give confidence in the electoral process that it's competitive, it's fair to everyone. No, every candidate can mount a campaign regardless of his or her resources. So essentially, that's part of the leveling the playing field or making it fair, no, for everyone to compete. No, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, as I mentioned in the past interviews also, that the use of technology right now is also a great equalizer. No, it levels up certain advantages of certain candidates who have resources. No, the use of internet, right, and wealthy, or who have a political machinery to back them up. This time, people resort to social media. No.
Well, speaking of resources, Eric, I mean, there are some candidates that have much more than others, and even if you have the Fair Election Act or any law that will, parang level off the playing field, it doesn't really always work, hindi ba? I mean, and there are violations when it comes to reporting.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
What amounts in terms of campaign contributions a candidate gets?
Yes, definitely, I agree. It's very difficult because a lot of them have even loaded up, preloaded their expenses even prior to the campaign period. You see a lot of them even a year or two before, endorsing certain products, making themselves known by coming out with social service programs or medical missions, coming out with a particular TV program, or even coming out as a star, of these telenovelas, So it's very difficult to really sift out what is campaigning and what is not campaigning, most especially with the ruling of the Supreme Court, COMELEC versus Perenya versus Perenya, which identifies candidates as one who is only running for a position come election period or come campaign period. So those people who have even filed their candidacy can, campaign or make themselves be known. So nalulusutan tayo.
Yeah, well, much to talk about, but not enough time. Thank you very much, Eric Alvia of NAMFREL. Salamat.